Today, we're going to find out if Claude or Codex is the best AI to make us a fully custom FiveM server. We've been using Claude in all of my past 4 videos, and you've all been telling me there's a potential that Codex is better. I have got Codex and Claude set up side by side in my Visual Studio Code. I have then gone ahead and made 2 empty folders on my desktop, Claude FiveM server and Codex FiveM server. And we're going to give both of them the exact same prompt. I have gone ahead and I have set Claude to Opus 4.8. And then on ChatGPT Codex, I've gone ahead and set ChatGPT to 5.5. And both are set on high effort. We found out in my last video for Claude that Fable 5 isn't actually any better for coding. Okay, so I've gone ahead and typed up a prompt and given it to both Codex and Claude. The prompt is, I want to make a fully custom FiveM server. I want this FiveM server to be a full economy RP server with jobs, gangs, EMS, police, banking. I do not want to use existing frameworks. Build it in stages and fully test everything before giving. You're a full stack FiveM developer with a deep understanding of FiveM. Build the best possible framework you can. We're going to press enter first on Claude code, and then we'll go back to Codex. Okay, so Claude is still going with our prompt. If we have a look through here, it first of all went through installing some tooling which it could use to test the scripts before giving it to us. And now it is giving us a full plan. The framework is going to be called Nexus, apparently, and it has given us stages. We've got stage 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And yeah, it looks pretty well thought out. Very similar to what it did in one of our previous videos. We've got NX Core in stage 1, which is like the basics, like character objects, money, callbacks, permissions. We've got 2, which is notifications, HUDs, 3, which is an inventory, 4, economy, then we got jobs, gangs, and extras. I'm really hoping it does do good UI, not just really basic things this time. It'll be very interesting to see how Codex goes ahead with this. Okay, so we have given the same prompt to Codex whilst Claude is running in the background doing whatever it's doing, building the full server, and Codex is doing a very similar thing. First of all, it said that it's going to treat it as a real project scaffold rather than a file demo. It's going to inspect the workspace and it'll figure everything out from there. Figured out it was empty just like Claude did. And then it's going to start building the framework. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's doing a different angle. It hasn't set out stages compared to what Claude did. Okay, so let's let both run side by side doing whatever they want to do. And we will come back to both of them whenever they have finished their setup and they give us the next prompt. Okay, so interestingly, you can see on the right-hand side, Claude is still going. It's now doing, well, it looks of it, it's finished the inventory and it's moved on to something else. So it's building all of like the additional files by the looks of it. But on the left-hand side right here, Codex is done apparently, or it's done its first stage at least. Okay, so let's take a look over what Codex has built for us. It has built the first full custom framework stage in our workspace, server.cfg plus custom resources under resources in brackets Codex. Included custom systems, we've got CF Core, which is player profiles and all that jazz, CF Identity, which is a register and ID card command, CF Inventory, Economy, Banking, Jobs, Police, EMS, Gangs, Admin, and Test, which is some in-server smoke checks apparently. So as Codex has finished its first stage first, let's go ahead and boot up our Codex server and see the first stage that it is made. Okay, so here on my desktop is our Codex FiveM server. We'll open this folder on up and let's take a look at what we have here. So we have our FiveM server. It looks pretty much as you expect. We have our resources and inside of here is our basic framework. You can see that isn't definitely a basic framework. Everything seems to be made. So like it said, we need to go ahead and add a key into our server.cfg. So let's go ahead and do that. It's made a server.cfg. That all looks good to me. And here is our license key. So let's go ahead and insert a license key into here. Okay, so there's one thing worth noting. I'm not seeing how the hell we start our Codex FiveM server. I don't see a basic FiveM server exe. I see nothing to start the server. This is interesting. So it hasn't actually made us a FiveM server. It says to start it on Windows, we need to do all of this ourselves. Download the server artifacts, extract it into somewhere like server, the server data folder is already here, etc, etc. It hasn't done it for us. So I told it to do it for us, as you can see right here. How do I start the server? And then I said, do it for me. apparently it's done it. It's pulled everything that we need. So if we check our Codex FiveM server folder now, we should be able to start it. Here it is, start server CMD. So if we double click this, we should be good to go ahead and try what it's made in game. Okay, so here we go. I've started the server on up, and you guys can see it is indeed running with no errors whatsoever. So let's load in game and see what it looks like. Okay, so we are connecting to the FiveM server. You can see straight away we have indeed got a basic loading screen, which is fine. It does seem to be doing a completely different angle to Claude. Rather than it just doing everything for us and then giving us the full completed server, it's doing it in steps. Interestingly enough, I don't think it's doing a very good job. We are stuck on awaiting scripts. We have no particular errors in our server files, and then we have no particular errors in our console. We're just stuck on awaiting scripts, which I would say is something to do with the fact that it hasn't installed properly the spawn manager resource. We need to get Codex to fix that, but first let's go back on over and check what Claude is doing. Okay, so interestingly, it looks like Claude is, rather than stopping at the certain stages and getting us to test, it looks to me like it's just going straight ahead. You can have a look through here. It has been going for ages, doing random stuff, and then it pops up saying somewhere along here, stage 1 complete, 246 passing. It said it has some sort of issue with building dependent resources, and it's fixed it, but it's gone through here and it's built stage 1. It was going for a while, and if we have a look back up here, we can have a look at what stage 1 was, and that was this. It was the NX core. So it's obviously done stage 0, which is what it did prior. It built us a database layer, player character objects, money, callbacks, permissions, and logging. And then 2, it was notifications, HUD, menu, progress bars, and 3 was inventory. And if we have a look right at the bottom, it was somewhere referring to inventory, the inventory engine. So it looks like Claude isn't actually going to stop until it's done. So let's go back over to Codex and see if it can fix those issues. Okay, so back onto Codex. We've stopped the server. We're going to tell Codex the issue we experienced, and then we're just going to tell Codex to not give us anything until the full server is built. It is really interesting to see the two different angles the two have gone at. This one's gone at a lot more of a step-by-step stage, but it didn't install the default resources. We're yet to know what Claude has even done. It is not giving us anything until it has complete. Both are given the same prompt, but have taken it in different situations. Okay, so whilst Claude is still going in the background, this is the prompt I'm giving to Codex to get it to carry on. I've explained the issue we had with the Mount Chiliad loading screen, saying it was stuck on awaiting scripts. I've said to fix that and carry on building the server until it is fully complete. Now it should be a bit more in line with what Claude is doing. Now they are both doing the same thing. They are giving us the full server and not stopping until it is done. So interestingly enough, even though I told it to carry on until the full server is built, you can see Codex on the left here, whilst Claude is still going on the right, has stopped again. And apparently this time it's carried on building the framework. New systems added. We got spawn, we got shops and crafting and garage and housing and phones. But this still isn't complete. If Codex is adamant that we go in stages, let's trust Codex and let's do what it wants to do. If Claude is adamant that it's going to do everything in one go, we'll let it do that and we'll test that when it's done. So let's go ahead now and try again with the Codex server and see if it works. Okay, so the server is started on up once again. We don't have any errors. We seem to have a few more things loaded in this time, which makes sense based off what Codex said, if this even works. So let's load into the Codex server once more and see if it works. Okay, we've loaded it in again and we have no custom loading screen. For us telling it to just do everything and not stop until it's done, no custom loading screen is a pretty poor start. So we're definitely gonna have to go back to it again. You can see we have this time indeed spawned in, but we are invisible. It's a better start that we spawned in. It fixed that issue, but we are invisible. So this means that there's some sort of issue when it comes to calling the actual character. But if we go on the map here, we have got a vehicle dealership, we have got a Legion bank, and whatever this is, I assume, okay, this is an apartment that we spawn with, and I guess you can buy some others here. That's interesting. When Codex made this, it said it made a readme, so let's check its readme. Okay, so on the right hand side, it says try these first after joining, and it gives us a bunch of things here. So apparently we may need to make our character, even though we've loaded in first, to maybe get it to spawn in, which is interesting. So right here, you can see we've got a bunch of resources, and it's given us in-game commands to use. It says the first one to use is CFDIAG, whatever that does. So let's try that command in game. Oh, okay, so that is our our core. So it's checking the core. We got cache bank. Okay, makes sense. Some sort of check for the server. Okay, and let's move on to the other ones. It says let's try respawn. So we'll try /respawn. Yeah, okay, and we've respawned, and it says to try register. So we'll do that. Okay, now we're registered as John Smith. Still haven't got a character. We're still invisible. Okay, so now I've done the /bank command, and it seems to be working for the bank. We got 750 cash, 3,500 bank. So now it wants us to do shops. Those must be a list of the available shops, and then whatever this is, shop items, convenience. Okay, so that's what's in the convenience stores, I would assume. This is very simple, very, very simple. And then that's us buying it, so we don't even have to be in the shop to do it. This is very interesting. This is a very basic, very, very basic. And then your inventory is empty, even though apparently we just bought 2 waters. So I guess if we do /bank again, yeah, and it's not even lowering our bank. This is very, very simple and basic. It hasn't done a good job whatsoever right now. Okay, so it isn't really working. Like, we have these things here, right? Let's go check out the vehicle dealership. Okay, and I'm here to check out the vehicle dealership, and we're already off to a terrible, terrible start. The vehicle dealership, it's empty. That's because it hasn't installed the basic resources for FiveM properly whatsoever. So basically right now, nothing it has built functions properly. We bought water, doesn't show in our inventory, it doesn't reflect in our cache. And yeah, this is just a terrible start. We got no character and just nothing's working. We can buy things without even being in a store. Yeah, definitely not a good start, but we don't even know yet if Claude is going to do any better. Okay, so I've come back to Codex and I've said, I spawn in invisible, I've got no character, we get no creation menu, the shops let me buy things anywhere, the inventory doesn't reflect when I buy things, money doesn't go down, no spawn selector, nothing. I've reiterated what I asked it to do, which was make the best server it could, the best framework. And now I'm going to ask it to make it a rival to QB-Core. And I've asked it to not stop until it has a full QB-Core rival and the whole thing is complete with no next steps. Obviously, we can't really keep to the same prompts as we're giving to Claude because Claude is doing a completely different thing. So this is sort of what we have to do to Codex in order to get it to do the same stuff that's Claude's doing. So let's press enter, see what Codex does, and check on Claude. Okay, so no surprise, Claude is still going. You can see police done, so it must have just made a police job, still going ahead doing everything on its list. But if we have a look through, it's been giving little updates as we go. So summary, it's implemented NX police resource for the Nexus Framework. Now it's just actually given us another summary, which is some sort of job things it's doing. It's still going in the background. But yeah, it is going. It is giving us summaries as we go. You can see it gave another summary, which is for the police. And I'm pretty sure it gave another one here, which is for shops. And another one here, which is for the ambulance. Like, it is just doing everything. Now, we don't know if it's going to be any better. Here's another summary that it made some sort of banking script. And it's still going. Now, we don't know if this is going to be better than the Codex server when we first join it. But it is certainly doing a lot more stuff. And we're having to do very little. Codex ChatGPT has finished again, apparently. Now, what it has built, just like the command I said, a full QB-Core rival, and everything is completed with no next steps. So here you go. Apparently, it's fixed all the issues we had, and now it has added respawn back to the spawn set to shops, which requires us to be the shop. We've got some sort of UIs and things like that. We should now see a character, creation menu, spawn selector, a HUD, inventory UI, money drops, and the bought items appear. So I have no idea what it's done now. Claude's still going on the right-hand side. I don't think it's going to be finished anytime soon. Codex apparently has finished a complete QB-Core rival, so this will be interesting. If you guys are looking to set up your next FiveM server without using AI to make dodgy broken FiveM scripts, be sure to check out my company, htnetwork.one. You can get yourself a fully modded auto-install FiveM server that you can set up in one click on your own PC, as well as VPS server hosting for really, really competitive prices, all in the link down in the description below at www.htnetwork.one. Okay, so I booted the Codex server on up again. Apparently this is the final version. We got no errors. I can't particularly see anything new besides maybe like a UI. Okay, so we're loading in, and to our surprise, not really. We don't even have a custom loading screen. So straight away, we're not, definitely not a QB-Core rival like I asked it to be. I have no idea what Codex is doing. Maybe it needs more context, it needs a bit more detailed commands than Claude, but we're rivaling the two right now, and Claude is definitely winning. We've spawned in this time, okay, and we do indeed have a UI so we can create our character. So we will go ahead and create our character. This is a much better start than previous. So let's do that. Let's do our date of birth. Okay, and then we'll do male, save character. We'll spawn at Legion Square. Okay, and we've spawned in apparently. We still have a UI stuck on our screen. We got no character creation menu. The UI stuck on our screen apparently. I don't know why this UI is stuck on our screen. This is very annoying. We should have an inventory UI, which I can't seem to pull up right now. The map, nothing seems particularly new. I don't even know how we get rid of this black box. Okay, so our inventory is binded to F2, and it does work. You know, we have nothing in our inventory. By the looks of it, I assume our bank command still works, which it does. But apparently we should be able to go to a store now, even with this black box on our screen, and buy something, and it should appear in our inventory. Okay, so we're here at a store, still with this dark black box on our screen. We should be able to go in here and buy something. Okay, and it shows us that a phone, water, etc. So now, if we go back to what the AI said, and we do buy convenience water, we've bought water, and we do F2. Nope, we have no water in our inventory. Let's check our bank and see if that's working. No, it hasn't. So it's actually fixed literally nothing. I can see there's a marker here now, which is nice. We've got a broken spawn selector screen with characters creation. We've got a broken inventory, broken bank. Yeah, Codex completely sucks right now. Let's go see if Claude has finally finished. Okay, and finally, literally an hour later, Claude is done. It has built us a full economy RP framework. 20 resources, 150 Lua files, 34 database tables. The only external dependency is OX MySQL, which is database driven rather than the framework. No ESX, no Cubicle, and no OXlib. It was doing a bunch of testing. Funnily enough, originally, when it built the server, if we have a look at our server files right now, it didn't have any server files to run a FiveM server. It did the same thing Codex did, and we couldn't actually boot it. So I did actually have to ask it to make it a real FiveM server, which it did do. It's given a full list of everything that it did. We got money, concurrency, we got some sort of security thing. It's given a list of everything it does. So NX Core, NX UI, like the notifications, spawn, world, chat, appearance, inventory, shops, vehicles, fuel, housing, jobs. It is done. If we have a look through here, we won't even be able to see the full thing that it's been doing, but it's been going for ages because it does compress everything, so you can't even see what we originally started with. We can't see the first prompt, but I did have to actually prompt it a couple of times to stop going off doing random tangents. It kept building stuff in a test environment, and it just kept going off on tangents. As you can see, I had to ask it to keep focusing on the actual FiveM server, and yeah, it took a while, but let's start the server on up for the very first time. There you guys go. It is running with 0 errors. We have got some stuff to do with project name and description. Yeah, and we have that again here, so it hasn't set that in the server.cfg, but it all seems to be running with no errors. Database is connected. It's all online. We got gangs ready, jobs ready. So let's connect to our Claude custom FiveM server. Okay, and we are connecting, and straight away, I don't know why all AI missed this. We don't have a custom loading screen, which for the amount of time Claude took is disappointing. So it's on the same level as Codex right now. We are loading in, and boom. Okay, this is a good start. We're not stuck on the Mount Chiliad loading screen. We can now choose our character, and you can see Nexus Framework. Really nice interaction here. Create character. Okay, so we'll do Highway Trooper. This is actually quite similar to the Codex UI, but a bit cleaner, I would say. And we'll do our date of birth. Okay. And a male, we'll click create. Not connected. Interesting. Okay, so we can't even get past this screen on Claude. I don't know what's going on. I don't think any of the database is connected. Before we go ahead and get Claude to fix this error and get on to the final version, we need to go back to Codex and get that to fix its own errors so we can finish the Codex server. Okay, so this is my last attempt with Codex because we've given it way more prompts than Claude has had right now. I've given it another prompt. I said everything is still broken. I've said now that the character does spawn and a UI for the inventory spawn selector appears and it works, but then a black box is stuck on my screen. The inventory nor the bank reflects still. We don't even have a custom loading screen. it's still way worse than Cubicle. I've asked it that it's meant to be a full, complete server before giving it to me. I said fix everything and add everything and do not stop until the full server is complete. And I asked it to confirm with me the full server is on its final version and complete. So we're going to press enter. And now we're only going to come back to this once Claude and Codex are on their final versions. Okay, so I went back to Claude, just like we did with Codex when we first joined the server, and I told it the error. When I tried to make a character, it's not connected, and it says it's fixed it. It was something to do with the temporary net ID, and it's added the real server ID into it. So quickly, let's go see what Codex has said, and then we will test the two final frameworks. So if we check over Codex, bearing in mind we went back and forth so much with Codex, because it just didn't do as much as what Claude did straight away. I would still say Claude had the better start, but it said that it fixed the issues we had and it added a couple of things. So now both our Codex and our Claude server are on their final versions. Let's go check out the Codex server first and then check out the Claude server, and we'll find out which one wins. So here we go. We've booted up the Codex server. No errors. All looks good. Definitely looks more basic than the Claude one. But yet again, even that wasn't particularly amazing. Okay, so we're connecting to the server, and we do indeed here have a custom loading screen. But that's only because we had more time to prompt this than we did Claude, because Claude just kept waffling on and not stopping until it was fully done. So maybe actually the way that Codex did it was better because it let you test in between. I'm not sure, but we spawned in now. Everything should be working. We shouldn't have that black box now. Apparently it fixed it. So if we create a character, we should be okay. But the one thing I'm thinking about here is we already did create a character. So unless it's reset it, the persistence isn't working. So if we click save character, you notice this is quite a similar UI to the one that Claude did. We should load in. We can select our spawn location as Legion Square. Okay, we spawn in. Not particularly at Legion Square. We spawn in though. Character is working and the box has disappeared, which is nice. In the right hand side now, we have our cash bank UI. And we are unemployed, which is pretty nice. The inventory, I think it's still working. Okay, boom, inventory's working. We can close it. So it said to press F2, go to a shop marker, and test those basics. So, okay. So we are arriving at a store. We should be able to now go ahead, enter this store, buy something. Cash should go down, and items should be on our inventory. So let's go ahead and find out. So we do /buy convenience item count. Just bought one water bottle for $12. We do it again. You can see neither our cash or our bank is going down. And if we do T/inventory, nothing in our inventory. So once again, Codex has failed to fix its problems. Let's go ahead and see if Claude comes off any better. Okay, so we've loaded back in. Looks pretty much the same. No custom loading screen. Let's try and make a character again, and I'm praying this time it works. Okay, so the moment of truth, if we hit create, it should indeed work now. And it worked. Okay, cool. So now we can choose our character. We've got the character we just made who is unemployed with cash of 500, born. Yeah, that's strange. Born, whatever that random number is, and we've played 0 hours. So if we click play, we should now spawn into a spawn selector maybe. Okay. No, we just spawn at the airport, which I guess is fine. Maybe the next time we spawn in, we'll have a custom spawn selector. I don't even know. Let's go on the map and see what we have going on here. So, not a lot. We do not have a lot going on here. Ammunition, black market, general store, hardware store, liquor store, and pharmacy. Interesting. I was expecting a lot more than that. But you can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, we do indeed have a HUD, which is nice. And I can see by running around, I think my energy is indeed being used, which is cool. So we should have an inventory as well. If we press F2 maybe? No, if we press tab, K, maybe we do /inventory. Okay, /inventory, boom. Not working. This is off to a great start. There's some sort of error with NX World, some sort of weather error. Let's see if the README tells us the commands. Okay, so I've checked with Claude, and according to Claude, you can rebind it in settings. It should be listed as tab. And if I press tab, it isn't working. I have tried re-keybinding it to I. You can see in the settings that it actually does exist. If we go to keybind settings, we go to FiveM, open inventory, I have reset to I. But if we press I, still nothing. Okay, so if we go ahead and do the commands it lists, like nxinfo, we should get a user and character summary. Okay, and we do, and that's actually a really nice notification. We're unemployed, cash 500, bank 5,000. Let's go ahead, what else it says to try. Okay, so I asked it what to do on Claude, and it says nxinfo should print your name. Tab opens the inventory, which it does not work at all, which is interesting. And I keybounded it to I, nothing, and the command does nothing. So, and then it says we should try a money move, /give money 1 cash. Okay, so if we do slash that, boom, we have gave 5,000. So if we do that nxinfo command now, right, we should have 5,000 cash. Is that what we had originally? I don't think it is. So I think we've just given ourselves, yeah, we gave ourselves 5,000 cash. Okay, so the money system is working. The inventory isn't working. So if we do /give item 1 bread, I guess that will work. Yeah, we've received bread, but the inventory just doesn't work. The world, apparently, it says to try. We should try the time setting because we're an admin. Okay, and that works. That's pretty good. And then it says to try blackout, apparently. Okay, blacked out enabled. I don't really know what that's done. I can't see any lights really going off. Chat and proximity. So /me waves. Boom. A highway trooper waves. Okay, that's pretty cool. OOC. We should have OOC commands. That's better than what Claude did. We do. That's pretty cool. And then it suggests to try job. So /setjob1 police 4. Boom. Okay, and now we are police 4. So if we do duty, and now we are on duty, and it's changed our uniform to police. That is pretty cool. Do we have a police sign on our map now? No, we don't. That's, again, where it's lacking. There's nothing on this map. Also, looking at our energy levels, that definitely is not going down. And the cache I've just noticed in the bottom left-hand corner of the HUD isn't going down either. Or it's going up. So the HUD isn't linked to anything right now. Okay, so I tried the radio command it suggested, which was /radio testing, gain the police radio. And we should be able to open the armory stash at mission row. So we need to go to mission row somehow. Okay, so there is no way to teleport to a waypoint, so we're going to have to drive there. Okay, so interestingly, I just crashed into a police car and I've got police after me. So it hasn't disabled that. But if we're really quick able to check the armory somewhere we should be able to check the armory. But I'm not seeing where because we can't get in here. Yeah, I have no idea. And we're still getting shot at by police. Okay, so I did just get killed by the police and there's no way to respawn. So if we do /revive, we need to do our ID. So revive 1, player revived. We ain't revived, so that isn't working either. Okay, so now let's compare the two files. We spent the exact same amount of time on both of these servers, and they've given us very different results with different things working and different things not working. So you guys can see that they had a very similar idea in terms of building like a test file. You can see that the Codex one had node modules and things like that, and then it built logs so it could check things, and it had Codex area, which I think it seems to have cleared now, and tools. You can see more notably both of them had a tools folder, which is interesting. And then they both did the same thing where they didn't actually create a FiveM server. We had to actually ask it to make it a FiveM server, which is interesting. We've both got resources folders. They're more or less the same. Codex put everything into one resources folder, where Claude then separated 2 resources folders, server data and resources, but a shortcut to the Nexus folder. Now, Codex took a lot faster to get what it had, and it is very, very similar to Claude. Both have things that aren't working, both have things that are working. Let me know down in the comment section below which one you would rather use.